All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to get started. So today we are hosting a webinar about selling wholesale online and how to establish your brand and grow your business. We have an exciting agenda today and a great panel. And before we get started, I wanted to tell everyone a little bit about how this session will work and make sure that everyone knows what we'll be doing today. So first of all, we will be sharing this content with attendees. So you're welcome to take notes, but we will be sharing out the recording and the deck. It takes us a couple of days to process it internally, but then we'll make sure to share it with everyone so you can reference the information. We also have Faire folks in the chat today. Our moderators are here to help share helpful information and address your comments. And remember that when you are chatting with our group, chat to everyone, so that way all of our attendees can see your comments and your questions. Today we've prepared an agenda, so we'll cover specific topics. Unfortunately, that means we don't have time for sort of general Q&A or office hours, but we do have an incredible support team here at Faire. So if you have other questions that we're not covering today, please reach out to support@faire.com so that they can answer your questions. So what are we covering today? We first will do some introductions. I'll introduce our panel and give you a little overview about Faire. We'll then jump into building a customer list. What are some of the things that you should be thinking about as you're starting to build a list of retailers? We'll then talk about getting discovered on Faire, and so what that looks like, what best practices you should be utilizing, and how you can get connected to new retailers using the Faire platform. And finally, then we'll talk about maintaining relationships and growing your sales. How should you be maintaining relationships with the retailers that you're building on your list and that you're selling to. And then we'll close with some resources and we'll share a survey so that you can give us feedback on what you learned today. So to start, introductions. We have a panel here of members of the Faire team who are pretty knowledgeable on these topics. So I'm excited to have everyone here today. My name is Madeline. I'm on our marketing team. I am based in San Francisco. That's where I'm calling in from today. And I've been at Faire for about 3 years. We also have Walker, Katie, and Sarah, who are joining from our brand partnerships team. And when they start their sections, they'll introduce themselves a little bit more. We're really lucky to have all of them with us today. And for everyone who's with us today, if you're not familiar with Faire's mission, or even if you are, I wanted to give a little bit of a refresher of why we're here and what we do. Faire was founded in 2017 by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs on the belief that the future of retail is local. And our mission is to help independent entrepreneurs chase their dreams. That's why we built Faire. We're an online wholesale marketplace, and our goal is to empower small business owners and independent brands like all of you to buy and sell wholesale online. And ultimately, our goal is to help you grow and simplify your business. How do we do that? What are the things that we offer? For retailers, Faire offers a one-stop shop with data-driven recommendations. We offer net 60 payment terms, which means retailers can purchase from us and pay 60 days later. That's something that Faire covers, though. It's not something that we expect our brands to cover. We also offer free returns on first orders for retailers to make things really low risk. Again, that's something that we cover. We also offer a free subscription program for shipping. For brands, we offer exposure to over 200,000 independent retailers. We guarantee payment on every order. So like I mentioned, even when we're offering terms for our retailers, we are making sure our brands are paid on time every time. We offer free marketing and customer relationship tools, which we're going to be talking a lot about today. And we also provide easy order and shipping management. And all of these tools, our goal is to help save time, save you money, and increase your sales. Who are our retailers? Who buys from Faire? So our independent retailers are located all over the country, all over North America and Europe. Independent retailers as a sector generate $1 trillion in annual sales, and the market continues to grow. These boutiques historically can be more challenging to reach because it's very much relationship based, but collectively make up one of the largest wholesale channels you can get access to, even larger than Amazon and Walmart combined. In addition, during the COVID-19 pandemic that's been ongoing, a lot of consumers and shoppers have really been opting to support local businesses and to focus their spending power on supporting their community. So much that 86% of consumers report that they've opted to shop local. So it's a really important sector, and that's who's shopping on Faire and who we're aiming to connect all of you with. So to recap, our marketplace is, our goal is to connect independent retailers with wholesale brands all over the world. We have 200,000 retailers across North America and Europe, 20,000 brands across 70 countries, and the marketplace processes around $3 million in volume on peak days. Now, I am excited to pass over the baton to Walker, who's going to talk about building a customer list and all of the things that that entails.
All right. Hi, guys. Thanks, Madeline. My name is Walker Jones, and I am an account executive on the brand partnership team. I am based in Atlanta, and I've been at Faire for about 6 months now. Before I came to Faire, I was actually on the branded side of things for nearly 10 years, so I can relate to all of you, and I have experience with this topic that I'm about to discuss, which is building a customer list. So next slide. So to kick it off, we're curious what tactics you currently use to connect with new retailers. So just go ahead and throw your answers in the chat. Cold emails, anybody else? Walk-ins, Instagram, social media, Instagram, promotions, campaigns. All right, we're gonna have a trend here, markets, WhatsApp. All right, okay. Next slide, please. So here are how some of the ways that we find that retailers connect. Cold calls, cold emails, direct mail, local door-to-door introductions, social media, trade shows, internal sales reps, independent sales reps, paid ads, online marketing like Faire, marketplaces like Faire, I apologize. So we know the common thread in these ways to connect with retailers is simply by contacting them in some way, but the first step is finding them. So where do you find these retailers and start building your potential customer list? So at Faire, as Madeline said, we are all about the shop local movement. And if you look, you will find there are assets within your own community that you can utilize. So first, we recommend checking out local business directories, either online or some places even mail out paper versions of them. Next, you can utilize your local Chamber of Commerce. They maintain lists of businesses in the area and can advocate for local businesses in a number of different ways. In addition, be sure to look into local community events. You should attend and also be sure to look for some sort of directory or attendee list after if possible. These events are good for making connections and networking with other businesses, as well as finding potential customers. Lastly, door-to-door sales are still viable. Go check out your local retailers and introduce yourself. Show them your products and tell them about yourself. A strong retail customer could be right in your backyard. Next, there are several ways to connect with retailers in other areas. Some initial discovery methods we recommend are utilizing online tools to analyze other regions. So with Yelp, you can look at retailer reviews, pictures, ratings, and general popularity to help you determine if they are a good fit. Then you can even find their website and contact information. Google Maps. So you may have states, regions, or cities where you're lacking distribution or looking for additional accounts. A simple Google search can help you to find prospective retailers, their websites, and contact information. You can even use it to look at proximity to existing accounts and help you to plan out future areas to develop. Social media. Obviously, there's a plethora of information available on social media. You can review and search for retailers to determine if they are a good fit for you. Look at their shops and products and get a general sense of who they are. Then you can even reach out to them directly via the messaging system in whatever platform they are using. Next slide, please. So once you have that contact list together, what's next? Cold outreach may seem daunting, but it really doesn't have to be. You want to start these relationships off right. So here are some tips for that initial direct outreach. First, you want to add value. What is it you bring to the table? How does your brand contribute to their retail store? Think about what the retailer needs and why your products are important to them. How are you going to help them grow their profit? Next, do your research. Before you reach out to a retailer, we highly recommend doing some research on them. Look at their social media accounts, review their website, note the other products and brands that they carry. They will be impressed that you've taken the time to learn about them, and you'll be more prepared to react to statements they may make or questions they may ask. Next, be friendly, confident, and personal. You want to connect with them on a human level. Chat with them, learn about them and their business. When you're interacting genuinely with someone and connect with them, they will be more open to you and thus more open to conversations about working with you and your brand. Stand out. What is it that makes you unique? How are you different from similar brands or products they may carry? Why is it they need your products? Explaining your brand story can often help here. Another way to stand out is in your follow-ups. Send a thank you card or note. If possible, maybe even send some samples. This shows that you were not only grateful for their time, but also gives them the opportunity to additionally test or preview your products. Next slide, please. Another form of outreach is via online tactics and platforms. So social media is obviously an incredible tool for growing your business and connecting with new retailers. Building a page that people enjoy viewing and posting content that engages consumers and retailers alike is an important part of building your brand image. Also, be sure to follow other brands and retailers you love to help you grow your social media community and link you with others within your network. As you continue to expand your brand presence, ads on social media platforms and Google can really help you to grow by exposing and linking you to additional retailers you may not connect with organically. Depending on the circumstance, these ads may run for brief periods, but they can lead to an influx of long-term customers. Lastly, online marketplaces like Faire are designed to connect you with retailers and help you to really grow and streamline your wholesale business. We not only expose you to retailers here at Faire, but we also give you the tools to manage your wholesale business and make sure you're growing in the most efficient and effective way possible. Next slide, please. So as you're discovering and connecting with these retailers, it's important to keep this retailer list organized. Here are some tips. Make sure you separate your existing customers from prospects. The way you communicate with people who have purchased from you before should be different from the way you communicate with your prospects. Make sure you're designing your outreach around this and that your tone and content make sense for whomever you're reaching out to. Next, update this list frequently. So you want to be sure you're maintaining your retailer list as it evolves and changes. Make sure you're adding and updating contacts as they come in so you don't forget about someone and miss an opportunity or sale. Also, be sure to take notes as you go and save any information that may be beneficial in the future. Buyers appreciate you having knowledge of their business and anticipating their needs. This will result in a better relationship with the retailer, and if managed properly, additional sales. And guess what? Faire has a customer management tool that helps you with all of this. More info on this in the upcoming slides. Next slide, please. So to recap, here are some key takeaways from what I've covered. There are lots of ways to connect with new retailers. Be sure to utilize as many as possible. Direct outreach is one of the most common tactics to connect with retailers when you're growing a brand, and there are several everyday tools you can use to do so. Online platforms like Faire are here to help. We can help you with both streamlining your business and increasing your retailer exposure. And last but not least, keep that contact list clean, organized, and up to date. Maintaining a detailed and accurate customer list is a proven way to convert more productive sales. All right, I hope that was helpful. I'm going to hand it off to Katie now, who's going to talk to you about another incredible customer connection tool, getting discovered on Faire.
Hello, everyone. It's so exciting. This is like the most socialization I've had in a while with the 385 of you that are on this webinar. So super exciting. Once again, my name is Katie. I'm on our brand partnerships team here at Faire. I've been at Faire for just over 2 years now, so been here for quite a while. And I'm currently located in Michigan. I saw a few people in the chat that are also located in Michigan. So I am currently streaming live from my parents' home, but usually I'm located back in San Francisco, which is my home normally. So really nice to virtually meet you all. We're gonna actually start off this section of getting discovered on Faire with a little bit of a poll. I love an interactive moment, see what you guys are thinking, what's going on out there. And we'd love to understand do you understand how to get discovered and build relationships with retailers on Faire? You're gonna see a poll up here on your screen right now. Go ahead and choose the option that resonates with you. We wanna basically understand kind of where we're starting. What do we wanna talk about, and make sure that we're covering all of the information that will help you guys learn a little bit more about how to best utilize Faire. Just give it another few seconds. Yes, hi, Victoria. We love a Michigander and a Great Lake dweller. Amazing. Okay, awesome. So much room for improvement. Don't have understanding, have a little understanding, have a moderate understanding. The goal of this section and the next two will be to give you a better understanding of what you can do and what we do at Faire to make sure that retailers can come and find your brand. So to kick it off, we're going to talk a little bit about discoverability on Faire. And there are 3 specific topics that we're going to cover during this session together, which are, how do retailer recommendations work? So how do we at Faire decide what retailers see on the site? The second is how the search and marketplace ranking work. So when someone types in the word candle, what happens? What is happening when we put that word in? And lastly, we're going to equip you guys with some awesome best practices so that you can show up in search and increase your discoverability. We have some hot tips from folks that are on this call that will help you guys make sure you have the most robust page built so brands and retailers can come and find you on our platform. So first, we're going to start with retailer recommendations. So retailer recommendations, here at Faire, we are very data-driven. And so our goal is to give data-driven and personalized recommendations to all of the retailers on the platform. And what that means in layman's terms is we don't want to just surface anything to a retailer. If I'm an apparel retailer, I want to see apparel brands, or I want to see brands that are complementary to the products that I'm already purchasing. And so a few of the things that we do to get to know our retailers a little bit better are, first, we give them recommended brands based on what they've searched for, purchased, and clicked on. So we're gathering that information to better understand what is it that this retailer actually cares about and wants to see. So that's the first thing that we do. The second is we ask retailers directly, what do you want to see? Tell us a little bit more about yourself. And so we surface quizzes in our UI to basically give them ask them to give us a little bit more information about who they are, what they want to see, why they came to Faire, and what they're looking for. This, once again, helps us to get to know them a little bit better so we can actually provide realistic and good recommendations to those retailers on the site. Lastly, we use all of that information to then send marketing emails to each retailer. Each retailer receives customized emails that are highlighting brands that we think are a best fit for them. So we're not just blasting them with every single brand that has joined the platform. We want to make sure that we're sending personalized emails to those retailers. And so tactically, what that means is one retailer will get a different marketing email than another. Someone that owns an apparel shop versus someone that owns a bookshop is not going to be receiving the same marketing emails from us here at Faire. We want to make sure it's highly personalized and makes them excited to come and make that next purchase on the platform. So those are a few things that we do with our retailers. So we're learning about what they want, what they care about, so that we can then provide awesome brands like you guys to those retailers. Let's talk now a little bit more about search and marketplace ranking. So this is always like a mysterious, like what happens when I type in candle on the search bar at Faire? It's a great question. And our goal overall with our search methodology is we want to make sure that we're helping retailers, once again, find relevant products and ideally increasing sales for all of our brands. So once again, I think of ourselves kind of as like a matchmaker in many ways. We're trying to find the right retailer for the right brand and vice versa. So what we do when we are looking at search and marketplace ranking is we're actually using hundreds of factors to basically better understand a little bit more about your brand and the retailer that's searching. It allows us to produce a list of products that's personalized and unique to each retailer. And so I will continue on with my example of an apparel retailer versus a bookstore. When an apparel retailer types in the word candle, they will get a different set of results than a bookstore owner that types in the word candle. And you're probably wondering to yourself, okay, but how do I show up in both of those or one of those? And it's a great question. We're about to move into some awesome tips of things that you guys can do to make sure that you are equipped and that your page is built in a way that allows us to surface your brand as often as possible. So let's move on to the next slide to talk a little bit about best practices for showing up in search. So a few of the tips, there we go. We're moving. We're doing this live. Slides sometimes take a moment, but we're back. Okay, cool. Best practices for showing up in search. So here are a few tips that we like to recommend to all of our brands around what you can do when you're actually building your page, right? So all of these things that we'll talk through on this slide and the next are accessible features in your Faire portal. So once you have your page live, these are things that you can do live on a day-to-day basis within your Faire portal to make sure that your page is built to the best of its ability. Cool. Lots of thumbs up that I'm doing here. So first, what we recommend is making sure that you're tagged in the appropriate categories, you have the right attributes tagged, and you have brand values associated with your brand tagged as well. What this allows you to do, or an example of this perhaps, is if you go to the faire.com website, you see a bunch of category tags at the very top. We want to make sure that if you are a candle brand, you are showing up in the home decor candle category, right? That is ideally where we want to see you surfaced. We want to make sure that you're not surfaced potentially in the food and drink category. We want to make sure that we're putting you in the place that retailers want to find you in. So making sure that you're tagged there. Another example in this group is we have amazing brand values on the platform that we love to see all of our brands tag themselves as. One, women owned is a very popular one. I think on the site, you have a lot of women owned brands, and you're able to actually attribute that specific value to your page. What that does, it allows your brand to be tagged into a collection of women-owned brands. And if a retailer is specifically looking for something that is associated with that value, they can click on that tag and see and discover tons of awesome women-owned brands. Cool. All right, next, make sure that you list your products with clear, accurate titles and detailed descriptions. We'll have a little bit more on this on the next slide, but the goal here is making sure that it's super clear what it is your brand, what your brand is and what you're selling specifically. So if we just title something as candle, that might not give us all of the best feely vibes about the candle that you're actually selling. Tell us a little bit more about it. What does it smell like? What does it look like? What are the things that we can do to kind of bring this product to life on an online platform? And last, make sure that you're shipping on time and providing quality customer service. You're probably like, yes, of course, but why does that matter on Faire? Great question. We have this awesome review feature that allows retailers that interact with you to provide a review on your product specifically. And all of those awesome reviews that you receive from retailers that you work with will increase your visibility on the site as well. It gives social proof also to other retailers that are shopping that there's somebody else out there that's also interacting with your brand. And so that's another awesome way to make sure that you're getting more people and going to your page and making that first purchase. Okay, this is not the end of the hot tips, not to worry. And thank you to all of our awesome Faire folks for answering questions in the chat. I'm seeing some of them come up, but they're covering them before I even can, which is great. So let's talk a little bit about increasing overall discoverability. So there's a few things that you can do. Once again, all accessible in your Faire portal when you have that page built. The first is running promotions. We highly recommend that you run promotions on your line throughout the year. Now, that doesn't mean we're saying run a promotion all of the time, but run promotions during specific seasons of the year to garner some attention for your brand. And also reduce the barrier for maybe a new retailer that's really excited to try your brand and hasn't before. So promotions are a great way to get that attention from folks that are shopping on the platform. Next, make sure you list your entire product catalog. You'll probably see this in lots of emails from us. Catalog completeness is like one of our favorite things. We want to make sure when a brand goes to your page and sees all of the products that you list, they're actually seeing all of the products, right? That can increase the likelihood of them placing a larger order because they're seeing more of your products listed there. It'll also make them allow them to have a better understanding of the total scope of the brand that you've built. And so we want to make sure that you have all of your products listed on the site that you wholesale, right? So if we totally understand if there are products that you may not wholesale, but we want to make sure all the things that you do wholesale are listed on your page so retailers can see them. Next, keep your order minimums low. We recommend order minimums of around $200. And the reason for this is similar to the running promotions. We want to make sure we're lowering that barrier to entry for retailers that are discovering your brand for the first time. Get them super excited to go ahead and make that first purchase. You also have the ability and flexibility to change minimums based on if it's a first order or a second order. And that's something, once again, you can access directly in your portal and update as you please. The last two are a little bit more tactical, but I think very, very important. Make sure you're adding images and videos, lots of images and videos. We recommend at least 4 per product. Show us a good lifestyle photo, someone using the candle that's listed here. But these are some images on the right-hand side that are examples of brand photos that exist today on the platform. So making sure that your product is displayed in the best way possible so people are super excited to make that first purchase. And then finally, make sure you have at least around 300 characters per product description. Like I mentioned before, we want to make sure that we can visualize the scent of that candle. We can, understand what the texture of that soap feels like. Whatever it might be, we want to bring your product to life. And the additional description terms that you use will also help in making sure when someone is searching for something on the site, we can use all that wonderful information to once again surface your product and your brand. So a few tips of things that will ideally help you get discovered more frequently and connect with those retailers that we think would be a really good match for you. Okay, we have near the end of this section, which I'm very sad about. I will miss you all. But a few key takeaways on getting discovered. So as a reminder, joining Faire helps you get discovered by retailers. We are here to help you, and we want to make sure that you're gaining the exposure that your brand so rightly deserves. And so we use a few methods to help increase that, right? By surfacing things to retailer in a very personalized way and encouraging you all to share the best of your brand. Our goal, once again, is to connect you with retailers that are best fit for you. So maybe not every retailer is a best fit for you. I'm sure that you guys have met retailers that you created this awesome connection with. We want to, find retailers like that allow you to create this awesome personal connection and continue to work with those brands and with those retailers for years to come. And then finally, if you follow our best practices, you are definitely more likely to be seen by our retailers that are looking for products like yours. So make sure that you take these tips and use them. And if you've used them before, amazing, share in the chat what are things that have worked for you. But these are the things that we talk to our brands about on a day-to-day basis to make sure that they are seen and heard by all of our awesome retailers on the platform. Alrighty, and with that, I will pass it over to Sarah Becker, who will talk a little bit more about maintaining relationships and growing sales.
Thanks so much, Katie. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone here. So excited to see such a huge amount of brands coming. It's really warming my heart. So thanks for making this Tuesday a lot brighter. I am also on the brand partnerships team so I'm over in Oakland, also originally from the Midwest. So equally happy to see all the Michigan representation happening. And so excited to talk to you about what exactly managing relationships and growing our sales looks like at Faire. So if you go to the next slide. So customer relationship management, better known as CRM. I'm sure you've heard this term tossed around as you've gone ahead and sort of dove into your new business and expanding that further. So we're going to talk about breaking that down and what that actually entails. So one that looks like using a tool to actually organize all of your customers and manage them appropriately. It also means, how are you actually engaging with them? How are you staying in touch? Third, it means also, what are you doing to go ahead and incentivize those sales and purchases by dangling a carrot, another sort of jargon word that you might use that basically is an incentive for them to make more purchases. And lastly, how are you delighting your customer? So what are you doing to go the extra mile to put a smile on their face and make them want to keep reordering with you? So the first step is going to be managing your customers. So what that is going ahead and having a toolkit for all of your customers to be in one place. And believe it or not, Faire has one for you to use for free. You heard it here. So for any of you who are on Faire right now, you may be already using this. And for those of you who are interested in joining Faire, you can actually consider this to be a great bundle for all of your efforts in terms of engaging with your customers. So a few things that you can do within the Faire customer CRM, if you will, is going to be one, uploading mailing lists. So this is something that you can do using the toolkit that we have within your Faire brand portal that you can kind of see hinted at in the laptop screen in this image here. And that allows for you to organize who's coming in both within Faire and also your existing customer base. Next is going to be monitoring your customer activity. So that looks like, okay, who's spending what are they purchasing? When are they purchasing? Where are they purchasing? And being able to see what their cart looks like so you can maybe push them along with further incentive to make that purchase. And then lastly, targeting customers for marketing. So while there is a huge amount of customers, you don't always want to email all of them all the time for every single example. So what you might do is actually curate a list by filters of maybe regionality, or maybe it's customers who have purchased before with you, and go ahead and orchestrating mailing lists based on those filters. And we'll go to the next slide to talk about how we can actually engage with those customers. So staying in touch through email marketing tools is an incredible way to actually stay engaged, stay top of mind, and also a minimal effort on your side in terms of the actual lift for you as a brand. So what that looks like in terms of things that you can do, one is sending email campaigns. So as I referenced before, taking those curated mailing lists and putting them all into one place for you to go ahead and send out. Maybe it's a new line, maybe it's a new product that you have, maybe it's the holidays are coming. The options are endless with how you want to actually send out a campaign. So with Faire's CRM tool, we make it really easy for you to go ahead and do that all in one easy, fluid step. Next is also setting up automated reminders. So you know that those times when you actually put something in your cart, you're online shopping, and you get that email about a few hours later that's saying, hey, we saw you had something in your cart. That's something that we like to do at Faire that gives you the power to do that and nudging people along, as well as being able to do automated reminders for people to repurchase after a certain amount of time. So that's a really great way for you to set automated, out of mind reminders to your customer base. And then lastly is going to be inviting customers and prospects to order with our Faire incentives. And there's a lot to unpack there. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper as we go into the next couple of slides as to what that looks like specifically and what we have here at Faire. So some of you may have heard of Faire Direct, and maybe you can pop in the chat and let us know if you're familiar and are using Faire Direct. But essentially what it is it's a program that we use with our brands that allows for you to extend Faire's benefits to retailers and prospective customers without any commission at all. So while we do operate on a commission for any brands that come, basically any retailers that come to you through the actual platform, those that are familiar with you, exist in your actual client base, or are naturally driven to you, we want to preserve that for you and make sure that that is commission free. So what that looks like is there are a couple tools that are in your Faire Direct toolkit that we'll talk about that allow for you to share that with your buyers to basically enable them to make purchases at 0% commission with some really great incentives that help accelerate their business as well. So with those incentives, what that looks like. So let's say you're on your platform, you're like, you know what, I really want to go ahead and cast out a net to all of my potential buyers, let them know that I'm on Faire, and maybe those who aren't on Faire may take advantage of some really great incentives, and here they are. So what that looks like, one, you'll be able to offer them $100 off your brand's line specifically. We'll also be able to offer them 1 year free shipping on your brand's line specifically. So that's only for your brand and allows for you to basically give them, maybe it's halfway to a free order, whatever that looks like, to go ahead and get them across the finish line, make that purchase. The other thing that we'll offer to all of the retailers that actually come to us through your invite, regardless or not if they're on Faire or not, is that we'll offer them free returns on their opening order with your brand, which is great and at no risk to you. We'll also offer them net 60 payment terms, which is also covered by Faire and something that we guarantee. So you're not having to run around and chase down any payments in that regard. And then lastly, the world-class customer service of Faire. We work really, really hard to make sure that all of your answers are, all of your questions are answered. That's what I wanted to say there. And so we have a great support team that's working around the clock to really make sure that you feel supported, nurtured, and excited about Faire and can accelerate your business. So you might ask, how do I use Faire Direct? Great question. So when you're in your portal, what you'll be able to find is a little section that is called Faire Direct. There you'll find a link for your shop page, which then you can then use to incorporate into emails and send out in whatever capacity you prefer. So that could be through social, that could be via email, through the campaigns that you're making, through your curated lists, all on the Faire CRM device. Or it could be putting a widget on your website, which is going to be basically embedding onto your, let's say your wholesale or your trade page, and popping that into that page so that people can get naturally driven to your website through Faire and receive all the perks and benefits there. And then lastly, we'll talk about why would you do this? Why Faire Direct? So one, it's an amazing tool to close more business. So with the incentives that we're providing as a company at Faire to your retailers, they're able to purchase with greater confidence and reduce risk, which also means more sales for you. Additionally, it's a really great re-engagement tool for any dormant accounts that maybe haven't made a purchase in a while to get their engines revving again and get them excited through the incentives that we provide. Next, it also allows for you to streamline all of your orders and customer management in one place. So rather than having several different things that you're checking and maintaining, we put everything into one portal for you to go ahead and utilize to expand your wholesale business. And then lastly, and definitely top of mind, is going to be our 0% commission that we offer with Faire Direct. So essentially what that means is that we're guaranteeing all of your payments that are driven through Faire Direct to be at 0% commission if it's someone who's an existing retailer or someone naturally driven to you. And in the same breath, we'll also make sure to verify all ordering retailers to make sure they're legitimate and a great relationship builder for you. We have a puppy on its way. There it is. And then to kind of bring everything together, one of the key things that I know is always important to me that I always think about what makes me remember a brand is what was that special touch that they did to go ahead and make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. So to talk a little bit more about that, what you can do as a brand to create that feeling and really encourage your retailers to make more purchases is to, one, of course, offer superb service. So that means being efficient with your response times, answering the questions, shipping consistently and on time, and of course, communicating effectively with your orders if there's any changes in terms of let's say that's the quantities or something might be out of stock. Being able to engage and communicate that effectively goes a really long way and really makes that retailer feel taken care of. I don't know about you, but I always grew up with the notion that thank you notes go a very long way. So with that said, and I know, for instance, let's say you get an order and it has a little note that says, thank you so much, insert name, like this means so much to us. That just makes my day. So think about that when you're doing the other side. So one of the simplest ways to express that gratitude for your business is through a thank you card or a message. And that could be even an email, handwritten, whatever it is that makes it feel right for your business. Another thing that you can do to actually feel really engaged and supportive, and also a bit of a reciprocal relationship between your retailer and the brand, is to go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram. Shoot them a message, let them know that you actually have gone ahead and sent out their package to them. So that way they can have a little bit more of a direct tie to the brand itself. And lastly, rewarding loyalty. So this is something that you can do through free samples, or even doing a gift with their purchase, or an additional code for a discount for future purchases. And then lastly, we'll bring it all together with some key takeaways. So what that looks like, one, managing your customer relationships is an essential part of growing your business. So using these toolkits that we have for you is a really great way for you to manage all of the customer base, as well as all of the mechanisms to make it really successful. Using the tools and incentives that we have, specifically with Faire, and communicating them effectively actually allows for you to increase your sales as well. So putting everything to work, the marketing tools really gets you a leg up in terms of being able to drive more sales. And then lastly, always prioritize keeping your customers happy, and they'll keep coming back and back and back, and hopefully back to reorder. And we'll wrap it up with a little poll once more to see hopefully some skills being attained in terms of how do you understand how to get discovered and build relationships with retailers on Faire. All right. I think we made some great improvements, everyone. We definitely have tipped the scale. And so I think we're heading a better understanding. And the great news is that we have a lot of great resources that you can continue to go ahead and utilize to get everyone over to the I have excellent understanding. And with that, I'll pass it over to Maddie.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all of that. That information and content from our wonderful panelists. I wanted to wrap up quickly by providing some additional resources and feedback as we close. So resources for brands, we have a few that we wanted to highlight. We have a blog called The Studio that has a lot of great features, stories from our community, business management advice, industry insights, as well as news about what's going on here at Faire. We have a podcast called Brick and Order that you can access wherever you listen to podcasts. It features interviews from our community. And finally, we have our help center. So we have guides on all of Faire's policies and features that are kept up to date for your use. Also, we would love your feedback on the content you heard today. So we'll be providing a link in chat to a survey, and we'd love to know what you enjoyed, what we could improve. And we will also be sending this survey along with the content from the webinar to all of our attendees. So we really hope that you will give us your feedback. That's something that's really important to us here at Faire. Finally, if you are new to Faire, we want to help you get started. So you can head over to faire.com/apply, which will also be shared in our chat, to start the process of getting set up on Faire, where you can start using all of the tips and tricks that you learned today. And we hope that we can introduce you to all of these features and welcome you into our brand community. And thank you really is the last thing we wanted to share. Thank you for joining us, and keep an eye out for follow-ups from us, including our survey and the content from today. But we really appreciate everyone for taking time out of their day to spend some time with us learning about Faire. Bye, everyone.